Hi all, greetings to you in the name of Lord and Heavenly Jesus Christ. I am really happy to see you all for tonight's webinar. I hope everyone is safe and sound. Okay, so as you all know, for tonight's webinar, it's about effective CV writing and unlocking the power of LinkedIn. So we'll be sharing the tricks and techniques, how to stay updated at the current level of job requirements. Our webinar speaker will be focusing on three things mainly on today's webinar. One, how to write a CV effectively, how to use the LinkedIn effectively, and how to read the mind of the human resource recruiter. So these are three things which are very crucial or important at everyone's life at some point of time, especially if you're looking for a job or planning to redefine your working culture, then this is the best opportunity to avail. I hope you will get the insights from this webinar so that you can apply it to the appropriate level. This webinar is presented to you by the Stacey Dubai Youth Union. On the behalf of Stacey Dubai Youth Union, I heartily welcome each and everyone to this webinar. With that, I would love to introduce Mr. Jason Abraham, who will be the host or the speaker for tonight's webinar. Mr. Jason Abraham is working as an internal auditor for Sharjah Electricity and Water Authority. He is a content writer, motivation speaker, and he is also the part of the advisory team for Amity University, Dubai. We are extremely privileged and honored to have Mr. Jason Abraham on board as our webinar guest speaker. With that, I invite Mr. Jason to kick off the sessions. Good luck.
Thanks a lot, Febin. It was a fantastic introduction. It was effective introduction in the sense because it's so privileged for me and honored to speak to an audience of 57 right now and counting. So today it's a tailor-made session, and my topic is effective CV writing and unlocking the power of LinkedIn. As Febin introduced, this is going to be a life-changing event or a life-changing moment for all of us. Now, today's world is filled of a lot of irregularities and disparities. Now, if we talk about COVID situations, post-COVID and pre-COVID situations, we have a lot of doubts. We have a lot of problems and things which is going inside our mind. Will we lose our job? Is there any uncertainty in our job? So a lot of questions are there. So today's session is going to take you into that level where I don't guarantee you that you are going to have a new job soon as possible, but I would give you some tips and professional experiences which I would like to share from my personal experiences to you so that you can effectively. Maybe if you go for an interview, you can effectively communicate to the interviewer your thoughts and how effectively you can communicate yourself or present yourself to the interviewer. Now let's kick off the session. As Febin already has told, that this session is going to be divided into 4 modules, and each module has its own question and answer time. Now I won't give you much time for each module question and answers because we have to finish it off within an hour or maximum 1 hour 15 minutes. So I would be taking questions and answers for 5 minutes after each module. So as you see in the screen, there are 4 modules and I would be discussing it in detail. Number 1 module would be purpose of your life and re-engineering it. Now we have all come across the term engineering, and now I would like to introduce re-engineering to you. Engineering and re-engineering are connected with each other because engineering, you know, it's a strategic development. To summarize, it's a strategic development. And so what is re-engineering? Re-engineering means revisiting what you have already developed. So, which means it is giving you an opportunity in your life to re-engineer your life once again. Okay, so that's the first module. The second module will be a job seeker strategy in discovering potential opportunities. Now, there are a lot of opportunities in front of us. Many people don't realize that there are opportunities, but still there are a lot of opportunities. Now, how well you grab it with both of your hands, that is your skill, and that is what I'm going to tell you today. And third module would be the approach or the networking and the ways to make strategic connections. How well you can make a strategic connection in today's world to achieve a potential job, okay, or your dream job. And number 4, the most prominent topic of today, unlocking the power of LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn is everything. LinkedIn is not a social media website. So I want to clear that in the initial go. LinkedIn is not a social media website. It's a professional media website. Or it's a professional website where It's far more than job search. So I would be going in detail for each module. Let us begin with this quote. This quote is justified into, or we can say divided into 3 or 4 aspects. Number 1 is dreaming is easy, achieving is hard. Now, everybody has lots of dream in their life. Everybody is dreaming high, everybody is dreaming big, everybody is dreaming so big that when they get up from the sleep, they realize that it's just a dream. And they regret over the decisions that they have taken in their life. Now, dreaming is easy, okay? Anybody can dream. I can dream, you can dream, even a kid can dream, anybody can dream. But achieving is hard. Now, this makes sense because what you dream, you should achieve. Otherwise, it's just a waste of time. Okay, so dreaming is easy, achieving is hard, moving is tough. Okay, moving is tough, but being stagnant is just foolishness. This means that you have to continuously improve yourself rather than sticking on to one place at a time. Or we can say that just being silent over situations doesn't matter. You have to react. Now, reaction is important because it improves your skills. You have to be proactive and reactive at the same time. So again, I would rephrase it. Dreaming is easy, achieving is hard, moving is tough, but being stagnant is just foolishness. So the first module begins now. Purpose of your life and re-engineering it. Okay. The screen which you see in front of you is an yellow screen, and it's divided into 4 parts. Although you see a lot of circles around you, but still it has 4 elements in it. Okay, I will go with the north first. Change management. Every corporate structure, every corporate individual, every employee has gone through the situation. Change management. Now, if you are prone to change management, you would get me very easily. If you're not prone to change management, then it would take some time to understand what is change management. Okay, first is change management. There are 4 aspects to change management. Number 1 would be the growth factor. Number 2 would be your fears. Number 3 would be the resistance, and number 4 would be the productivity. Now, these are all linked with each other. So the growth factor, when you grow, there are lots of fears you want to accomplish, or we can say there are a lot of fears you want to mitigate. There are a lot of fears which you have in your mind, which may become an obstacle in your growth factor. Okay, so growth is number 1 factor. Fears are number 2. Number 3, the resistance to change. This is very important because we often fight hard in our corporate lifestyle, or maybe at family, or maybe in your social lifestyle, to resist the changes which we are already in, because we are already in we can say so easiness, in the safe side, or we can say in the so easy side, that we actually resist the change which should have taken place. Now, there are 2 aspects to it. Change can be negative, change can be positive. If the change is positive, then there is a growth factor to it. If the change is negative, you have a knowledge factor to it. So which means if a negative thing is going to happen, or if a negative change is going to happen, you grab on so much knowledge from it that it triggers your mind, and then you perform more. Okay, so these are the 4 aspects, and going into the 4th aspect, productivity. So the growth, the fears, the resistance, and productivity combined together gives you so much power to adapt yourself for the change. So these 4 are linked with each other. So that's the first module, or we can say the first element in reinvesting in yourself. So why reinvesting? This is another important question you would ask me, because going over a period of time, why should I reinvest in myself? Why should I look into the eyes of those people who have already kicked off in my life and gone on to another heights? So why should I go on through the pain again and learn from those mistakes? Or why should I repeat those mistakes? Or what should I learn from those mistakes? So these things might be going in your mind. So it is very important to understand that reinvesting in yourself is always a productivity change. rather than declining anything which you already have, or we can say diminishing your productivity. Number two, going to the south, long-term goals. So north, we discussed about change management. Going to the south, we are going to discuss about long-term goals. Now, I don't like myself short-term goals. Now, why should I invest my time on short-term goals? Number one question which hinders in my mind. Because if I'm going to plan for a short-term goals, I spend so much energy, so much time to achieve those goals. Then what is the use of achieving those goals when it is a short time? So rather than investing yourself on a short-term goal, plan ahead for a long-term goal. You have these savings account, you have this fixed deposits, you have this plan for 10 years, you have this plan for 15 years, 20 years. You have those plans. So invest yourself and mold yourself or transform yourself to achieve those strategies which you have laid down for a long-term growth. Now, long-term goals, again, has been classified into four. Number one, the growth factor. Number two, the plan. Number three, the assignment. And number four, the achievement. Now, how well you want to grow. So that is, again, decisive in nature, because when you are deciding that you want to grow to a certain limit, always your limit is set. But if your dream is to go beyond that limit, then the plan changes. So there is a long-term approach for it. So the growth factor is important. The plan is important. The assignment of how well you assign those short-term goals or long-term goals to achieve hard or achieve more is important. And achievement is, again, the fourth factor which is affecting the long-term goals. So these four factors combine together to have a long-term goal. Now, left side and right side, very important. Left side, my left side states that SWOT. Everybody who is working in the corporate sector has gone through this term, SWOT. SWOT is a tool, and it's none other than strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. Now, SWOT, if you run on anything, in your personal life, in your family life, in your corporate life, in your religious life, in your social life, in your political life, any life, if you run the SWOT and you get some results, and if you mold yourself or transform yourself to achieve those SWOTs, then it will make you a better person. I guarantee you. If you want to challenge me on this, you can challenge me. Not openly, but on silent mode, because I would be explaining one-on-one session later. So SWOT is identifying your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities and threats. Now, everybody has got some strengths. Everybody has got some opportunities. Everybody has got some weaknesses as well. Nobody is perfect in this world. So everybody is having different features. So identifying your features or identifying or forecasting your features at the initial stage than making available to the dangers which you're going to face, it's different, because it's good to forecast things. If you're forecasting things at the initial go, then it will make you more resilient to these things which are going to come in the future. Okay, so I would shift on to the fourth one, that is your passion scale. Now, what is passion? Everybody knows what is passion. Everybody has passion. Dreams and passions are different from each other. Your dream may be a dream, but never comes true. And it may come true. So there are two aspects to it. But passion is something within you. You dream about your passion. That's another thing. But your passion is something which is within you, and you work so hard that you want to convert those passions into reality. So there are no dreaming in passions. Passion is coming from inside. So what is passion? You're overcoming your negativity. You have a continuity. You have co-beneficiaries, and you have goodwill. So this is all about passion. Your passion scale is determined by the value which you're creating on overcoming the negative side of it. How well you tackle your negativity. How well you tackle the negativity which is around you. How well your aura comes in place. Then what is continuity? How continuous are you in nature? So when you do some things, you have the kick to do it. But after a certain stage, you lose the kick to continue it. But when you realize that this is your passion and you continuously do all these things, then the continuity factor comes. So that is continuity. Then co-beneficiaries. Co-beneficiaries in the sense that those people who are associated with you, those people who are actually mingling with you, your religious or think people who are there with you, or maybe your families, or maybe your society influence, or maybe your co-workers, maybe your colleagues, all these have a bigger role to play because your aura, or we can say your influence, is actually on them too. So your co-beneficiaries and the goodwill which you create. So this is the 4 aspects to it. So when we are combining these 4 modules together, that is change management, the long-term goals, the SWOT, and the passion scale, you are actually reinvesting in yourself to become a better person. So this is what the first module is all about, reinvesting in yourself. I would open the floor for just 5 minutes to take any discussions or questions regarding this.
Hello, Yashin.
Hi.
It's a wonderful class. So, can you tell me how to overcome our fears?
Okay, that's a good question. Now, who is this? Can I get a good name?
Yeah, my name is Jinin.
Jinin, okay, fine. Jinin, fears are different for different people, okay? Fear is something which actually is within you, okay? But you don't know how to react. So I think the possible solution for overcoming the fears within you is to actually do it. What you fear, you do it. If you fear of heights, you jump from an aeroplane. If you fear of water, you go inside the water and put yourself for 10 minutes or 15 minutes. You will overcome it. So you are prone, you are a human being, right? You're a human being and you're filled with emotions and you're filled with dreams and desires and you want to live, not to die. So whatever you are fearing is actually equivalent to whatever you are able to, or we can say is equivalent to the death of which we are actually planning ahead of time. Because if you're fearing something, you are becoming negative in nature. And when you are becoming negative in nature, you are prone to danger and you fail at times. So if you're fearing something, do it. That's the best answer to it. And if you are succeeding it, you're overcoming your fears. If you are actually not succeeding, you're learning from it. So that's my advice to you. Hope I'm clear.
Yeah, fine. And second one is how, why, second point, the fourth continuity, why people become discontinued from their passion.
Okay, I will tell you that. Where there is a passion, you lose continuity. Sorry, where there is a passion, you don't lose continuity. Where there is no passion, you lose continuity. That's a simple answer to it. Because if you have a passion, if you have a desire, if you have a dream within you, I'm 100% sure that you won't stop going and fetching to it. You would go at any extent and you will fulfill your passions. If you're not passionate enough, you won't do it in a continuous manner. The things which you are troubling you, the things which you are actually making you think that this is not my passion, this is actually making me in a different person. So just revisit your passion. So re-engineer yourself. Think from inside. Apply the 4 modules which I have told you now. It will increase your passion. And when you are increasing your passion, automatically your continuity will come. I'm 100% sure. Hope I answered you.
Yeah, fine. Thank you.
Okay, I would like to go forward because the time is going ahead of time. So, number 2 module, okay? Number 2 module is very strategic in nature. The second module is all about job seekers' strategy in discovering potential opportunities. Now, it is very important to know that there are some strategy, or we can say there are some steps which a job seeker should follow over a period of time. when we take into account the first module, applying those things, we will keep it aside. So we will come to the reality now. Okay. The first module was to change your behavior. The second module is actually the reality factor and what this whole webinar is all about. Okay. So the job search journey starts from the CV writing, the digital profile updating, the making or the maintaining of the jobs and company list, the CV distribution part, the maintaining the list of whatever databases you have, and the follow-up. So these 6 things which are going to be discussed in the future slides. Fine. Going forward, there are some steps which you should take into consideration for CV writing. This is very critical in nature because if you fail in it, you have a bigger chance to fail at the interview also. Number 1 is picking the right format. Now, everybody has some format or database or a biodata with you or a CV with you. We don't call biodata these days because biodata was old times and people used to refer that biodata is everything. But now biodata is something else. Biodata is in the fashion industry because you make a profile out of it and you have a biobase or biodata profile engagement there. In the real world, in the corporate structure, we term it as CV. Okay, CV is nothing else than curriculum vitae. Now, picking your format for the CV is very important. People draw, we can say, I have seen many CVs in my lifetime or many CVs in my career that people are just, either they are just bluffing over all of the details, or maybe they are drawing lines and inappropriate wordings. I've seen a lot of formats. But 2020, we have to concentrate on the term called ATS, or the Applicant Tracking System. This is very important to know because ATS is none other than a software which is run by the recruiters to filter out the best CV from the lot of junk of CVs which they receive. Okay, so I will be running a separate slide on ATS itself. Now, preferably ATS compliant format is required. Simple but effective presentation is required. Number 2 would be selecting a position title. Now, selecting a position title, I would always recommend go in a reverse chronological order. Now, you know about chronological order, but if you go in a reverse chronological order, which means latest to the oldest, okay, which you are having right now, the position you are holding right now, maybe you are a finance manager, or maybe you're a sales executive, or maybe a marketing representative. You have to do it in 2020. If you're a sales representative, you have to put that experience on the top of your CV rather than on the end of the CV. This gives you an upper hand. Some people, when they have experience like 2 to 3 years in UAE, they still write their home country's experience on the top. Then they write their experiences of UAE on the end. So that's going to make a disaster. That's helping nothing. Okay, so selecting your position and title is very important. Most closest to the required job description. Now, again, my next slides would be on job descriptions and keywords. So I would not be going in details now. Now, gathering keywords, another very important step. Keywords, I will be taking a separate slide on this too. And finally, drafting CV. So these are the steps for effective CV writing. Going forward, the planning and organizing part of the whole job search is very important in the life of a potential candidate. Now, a candidate is to have a training session himself, because he has to train himself to achieve more if he goes through these 5 steps. Number 1, updating his digital profile. Many people would not agree with me, because people would be saying that I don't have a digital profile and it is not very easy to make a digital profile, or it is not efficient, efficiency is not there, and it is not required in this world. It's a piece of paper is required, or we can say my passport photo is required, that's it. But a digital profile speaks a lot. Your digital profile can be in a lot of areas. Like for example, in LinkedIn, if you're making a digital profile, it's effective. Or if you're making a portfolio, because I have seen people in 2020, they are making a portfolio out of them for a job search. maybe a 2-minute portfolio or a 1-minute portfolio. They are discussing about their strength, their weaknesses, their achievements, their skills, their languages, everything they're discussing in a video. So digital profile is very important. And you have to update it. The digital profile which you created on 2008 or 2009 is not going to stick to 2020 because it has the most minimum lifetime. This thing has the most minimum lifetime because the job requirements keep changing, the job profiles keep changing, the job descriptions keep changing, the times are becoming more challenging, especially in these times. Everybody is online, so updating digital profile is the key. Number 2 would be creating profile on important job boards like Byte, Indeed, Gulf Channel, and a lot of other sites. But the most important thing to focus here is that creating profile on important job boards should be on a continuous manner, rather than just creating a profile and going and vanishing yourself. Because I see a lot of profiles have been not updated from 2007 or 2008 or 2010, and they are on Naukri.com and Byte.com, and they are just maintaining it. Maybe they got a job, okay? Maybe they got a job now. Maybe they got a job now, but still they have not updated it. So 2008, maybe they were looking for a job, but in 2020 they are already settled for 10 to 15 years now. But if they lose the job now, they will go again to the ground level and they will go and update their job boards like Byte.com and Gulf Channel. So it doesn't make sense, because if you are not continuous in updating your profiles in your job boards, it's a negative in nature. It actually reflects your personality that you are not a continuous man. Again, it goes to the module 1. Okay. Number 3 would be listing of jobs or listing of companies. Now, I would always recommend those who are working right now, those who are already engaged or those who are already employed right now, to maintain a database of what they are actually having. Many people fail in that. I have been a victim of that because I failed in my last company. I didn't maintain a database or we can say at least a business card database. And when I got terminated in 2015, December 31st, I was clueless. I was having zero clue what to do. I had a lot of connections that time. I had a lot of exposure that time to potential customers. I was working in the medical industry, so customers were there, suppliers were there, a lot of government institutions were there, private medical firms were there. I could have approached them if I could have made a good database. But I have no clue. I had no clue, and then I had to start from scratch, or I had to start from zero. So just focus on maintaining whatever database available with you. Number 4 is connecting with recruiters and job posters as per the list. Now, recruiters and job posters are these days, a lot of fake people are there, a lot of scammers are there, a lot of genuine people are there, a lot of consultants are there. But I would personally recommend, don't go to consultants, because this is from my life experience, because consultants don't do free of cost things, or they won't help you for free. And legally, or if we speak other ways also, legally in UAE or in any part of the world, it is not good to pay a consultant to get a job, but there are some exceptions to it. So if we take into account that you have to maintain a good relationship with recruiters, now you can find a lot of genuine recruiters, the HR professionals, the HR generalists, or actually HR managers who are working in big companies. You can find them on LinkedIn, you can find them on Facebook, you can find them on Twitter. There are a lot of ways to find them. You can directly approach them and ask for a potential vacancy. Okay. Then 5th would be staying alert and follow up. Very basic, staying alert. You don't have to sleep when you lose a job, or if you don't have a job, you don't have to sleep always. Like some people I see, they are from the morning 9 o'clock, they're getting up at 10 o'clock, and they are just doing the stuff at 11 and 12. Then they are spending 1 hour of job search, and then they are going back to sleep. So this is just waste of time. Because potential recruiters, as per my experience, the polling shows that from morning 8 o'clock till afternoon 1 o'clock, it is the peak time where you can get an interview call. Okay, so this is very important to stay alert and follow up. Now, ATS, applicant tracking system, very important and very basic thing to be discussed today. ATS is none other than applicant tracking system. It does three things. Number one, it collects the details of the applicant. Number two, it sorts as per the required description. Number three, it scans and ranks the application. Now, this is very important to understand that your application which you are sending to a potential recruiter is not even reaching him. It is going in his junk folder, unless and until if keywords are provided at correct time. Now, this is a fact. On an average, a corporate posting receives 250 applications. Out of those 250 applications, 4 to 6 will be contacted for an interview. 75% of resumes will never be seen by a human. So where it goes, 75% goes in junk. So if you want to stand out from that 75% and give yourself the upper hand to match the job description, it is very important to understand that there are some keywords to be inputted and to have a more exposure to the potential recruiter. Now, speaking of ATS, there are 6 steps to make an ATS compliant CV. Okay. Number one, pick the right resume format. This is which you see on the screen is just a basic profile. Okay. The easiest format for an ATS is reverse chronological, as I said before, latest to newest. So this form emphasizing your work experiences by putting it on top of the page. So whatever you have recently, you have to put it on the top. Fine. Number 2 would be choosing the appropriate file type. Now, PDF and Word format are the universal formats of sending the CVs. It is preferably very good to send it in a Word format. And if you don't have a Word format, it is very good to send it in a PDF file. Many people accept PDF files unless and until that in the description it is mentioned that we don't accept, our ATS systems don't accept PDF file, and please send it in a Word file. So people send sometimes as an image. People send sometimes in publisher .pub or publisher formats. People send sometimes in other formats which the recruiter cannot read or the ATS system cannot read. Okay, so choose the appropriate format. Then use an ATS resume template. You're finding it difficult these days to get a resume, ATS resume template. There are online sites. If you connect with me on one-on-one session, I will give you that. Okay, so use a template which is actually readable by ATS. Now, format or simple layout. It is very, we can say it is very important to understand that you don't have to make a mess out of your CV. You don't have to put graphics. You don't have to put black points. You don't have to put highlighters. You don't have to put pictures. You don't have to put icons, because these are all not part of ATS. If your CV is really want to stand out and want to be selected from ATS, it is very important to understand that the CV should be very simple in nature. Like which is the example is mentioned here. Languages, bullet points, full professional proficiency in English and Spanish. Another bullet point, limited working proficiency in French. Simple and clear, conveys the right things for the ATS system to select your CV. Number 5 is labeling your sections right. Very important. If you're putting something under your work experiences, label it under work experiences. Don't put it under languages. If you're putting it under skills, put it under skills itself. Don't put it under your personal details. So very important to understand the headers, the bullet points, very important, work experience, skills, all these to be marked accordingly. Okay, that's the only way ATS can read it. Number 6, tailor your resume with resume keywords. Now, what are keywords? Keywords, there are 2 types of keywords. One is job-related skills and second would be action verbs. Now, job-related skills are your primary characteristics for qualifications. For example, data analysis or problem solving or we can say communicator, etc. But action verbs are actually that you have accomplished over a period of time or succeeded in your job position. Okay. So, for example, you have saved so much revenue for the company, or you have created this thing, or you have maximized this thing, or you have solved these problems. Those are all action verbs. So when the keywords have to be applied, it has to be applied in careful manner. This is a practical example which you see on the screen. This company is actually looking for an expert on social media. Okay. Now this company has produced 2 requirements, or we can say 2 headings. One is the responsibilities header, and the next one is requirements header. Now in the responsibilities header, whatever I have marked yellow, those are the keywords which you need to take into account. Develop and execute social media strategy. Very important. Should be in your CV. If you have experience in developing and executing social media strategy, then it should be 100% on your CV. Audience recognition, another important thing. Regular content, collecting and analyzing, social data metrics. Lot of these things have to be there in your CV. Then the requirements such as communication skills, the social media, social networking expertise, software knowledge, CRO, SEO, lot of things they have mentioned, highlighted. So these highlighted should be the part of keywords which actually is forming your CV. Now, this is an example of ATS compliant CV, which is on the screen. Simple, very effective. It has been, the name of the person is there on the top, mobile numbers and stuff is there on the header, and then the work experience is there. Then the skills are there, the marketing skills are there, the education, because it's for a marketing role. The education is there. So this is the basic profile which ATS system reads. You can modify this ATS system, ATS profile into basic, professional, college, and executive style. If you see the basic, just basic without photos. In the professional, sometimes they add photos. So now regarding photos, if the recruiter is actually requiring to have photos in your CVs, it is only then you have to put it. Otherwise, there is no need to put in an ATS format your photos. Similarly, your passport details, your date of birth, these are all wastage for an ATS profile because these are all just consuming spaces. Your basic details should be there for an ATS format. If anybody wants a copy of an ATS format, just connect with me or connect with the admin at any point of time. Now, this segment I have included in this module because of some specific reason. Reading the mind of an interviewer. As Febin initially told that this is one of the elements which I would be discussing today, reading the mind of an interviewer. It is not hypnotism, okay? It is not hypnotism at all. It is not some other illusion which you're creating here. It is pure facts. My formula of reading the mind of an interviewer is on the screen. Identifying your core strengths, identifying the purpose of your life, what makes you different from others, knowing the company's knowing the hiring company's missions and visions. Combining together, you will get this formula. What's the formula? Your story of achievement. Okay, you would have a story of achievement, plus your strengths, plus your skills, plus your goals, your performances, and the technical know-how of the subject will give you an upper hand to expect those questions from an interviewer which you are actually prepared on or which you are actually going to face. If you have these details with you in the initial go or before one day of the interview, then I'm 100% sure that you will succeed in the interview. So this formula is very basic. If you add all these elements and prepare yourself, then automatically you will perform, you will go there and sit in front of the interviewer and say, and shake hands with him, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thanks for calling me. And I am there in front of you to perform. Yes. So you will be 100% confident. So this is a simple formula which you can adapt. You can modify this formula as per your requirement. You can modify and alter all these contents as per your requirement. Basically, these things should be there in your preparation time. Now, going forward, I would quickly take these 2 slides because I have compiled 26 questions for you. There are 6 strategic questions which you would be facing in an interview, especially in the Middle East sectors. Okay, I don't know about the European and American sectors, and anybody is joining from Europe or America in our webinar, but especially in the Middle East sector and in the Indian sector or in the Asian sector also, you would be expecting these questions. How did you hear about the role? What do you know about the company? Why did you apply? What are your key professional strengths? Why should we hire you? And do you have any questions for us? 6 strategic questions. Among these 6 strategic questions, there is one question which you might seem difficult. The question is, why should we hire you? Now, why should we hire you means they are asking a reason of actually proving yourself to the interviewer, or we can say that proving yourself to the recruiter that you're worth an asset to their company. So you have to prove that you are actually an asset to the company. Now, why you're an asset to the company, that you have to work on your goals and roles and visions and the performance strategies, which I have discussed in the module number 1. Now, going forward, these are the basic 20 questions. I would not read it all in detail, but these are 20 questions. If anybody is wishing to take a clip, you can take a snapshot of this in your laptops and PCs. Or if anybody wants the later stage, you can ask the admin to send it to you. So these are all 20 questions which you might get an help to prepare before an interview. Now, before ending this segment, there are two other special segments, or before ending this module, there are two special segments which you should understand. This is very curious, or we can say this is very sensitive in nature, because I'm talking about terminations here. Those people who have gone through terminations can relate to me in this situation, in this slide. Now, there are two aspects to terminations. One is a life before termination, and one is a life after termination. The life before termination is different to different people. People like me, I used to be carefree. I thought that I won't be terminated at any point of time. I was so self-sufficient, I was so self-confident that I won't be terminated at any point of time, but I was. Which means that you are not a permanent asset to any company, or which means you are not a permanent role to any company. You may be changed. People may come, people may go, but the processes will remain forever. The company has to go, or the show must go on. So this is very important to understand that there are some precautions which you have to take before termination, and there are again the extreme side of it. If you are terminated by any chance, then there are thumb rules which you can apply in your life to have an upper hand and to negotiate the termination period successfully. Now, steps to take care before you're terminated from your current role. Very basic, but very effective. Number one, expect the termination from the date of joining. I am not demotivating you at any point of time here, but you have to expect it from the day one. As I told before, you have to know that you would be terminated from this role at any point of time. But I won't suggest that you have to be negative about things. You have to be positive. You have to learn continuously. So this expectations would actually motivate you more to work hard, okay, to perform more to the company, to learn more. So this is actually a booster, not a negative thing. So expect the terminations from the day one. Number two, stay connected. Very important, very basic. Stay connected, stay networking. Network. People say networking is the base for anything. Networking is the key for anything. Even biggest business deals are done on networking platforms. There are a lot and hundreds and millions of platforms for networking. Find which is suitable for you, or create one. If you don't find, you create one. So staying connected will give you all accessible information to leads, the management, the fellow colleagues, the mentors, the advisors, the motivators, the influencers. You will get a lot of exposure to these people. Now, it is very important to have a mentor in life. If you're having a mentor in life, it means you're having a passion in life. A mentor is somebody who doesn't boss you. Okay, he's always a leader. Now, there are some differences between a boss and a leader. A boss says you to go and perform, or you go and do these things. But a leader, what he does is, he goes in front of you and does that. And then comes back and says that you have been a perfect support for me, and you have been always with me. Let's do this together. So what does a leader do? Leader actually leads by an example. If he fails, he fails, but he doesn't blame you for the failure. If he doesn't fail, he won't take the credit. He will give the credit to you. If you have heard this fantastic interview with our former president Abdul Kalam, you would relate to me to this, because he was an ISRO chairman and he failed at many missions. But his leader at that time, or his boss at that time, he took the blame on himself. He took the blame on himself rather than blaming the team. But when he was successful, or when he succeeded in his mission, he went there and he congratulated the team and told Abdul Kalam to go front and take the credit and do a press conference. So that's what a leader is all about. So staying connected will give you exposure to a lot of leaders in the society, a lot of management people, a lot of fellow colleagues, a lot of advisors and mentors, and a lot of influencers. Number three would be backup. Very important, taking backups of all those things which I discussed before: supplier database, consultant list, customer list, business cards. Have a junk of backups with you. If you don't have it on hand, make it digitally. However you keep it, the best, because it is going to help you on a longer run. Number 4, constant updating of CV. As I told before, don't be stagnant. It's just foolishness. If you're stagnant at any point of time, it's just foolishness. It is wasting your time and energy. Move on, go ahead, because it is giving you an exposure to all these developments or reforms in this world. So adapt yourself, adapt to the changes. So all the accomplishments, all the job profiles, all the things you have to keep on adding inside your CV. Okay, stay clean. Many people find it difficult. Getting yourself away from bribes, frauds, malpractices, good conduct, false tactics. These are all going to demotivate, or we can say these are all going to destroy you completely on a longer run. So staying clean is what you should practice daily on your social life, on your personal life, on your religious life, on your corporate structure, wherever possible. Stay clean. Don't get into problems. If you're getting into problems, you may find it temporary gains, but on the longer, you will fail completely. Constant learning is very important. As I told you, do not be stagnant. If you're learning continuously, it will improve your skill. Learn new things continuously. This is especially, I'm talking about those people who are actually in your working profile, actually who are there in your corporate structure. Okay, these are the things which you have to take care before terminations. And finally, participation. All possible participation in all webinars, all seminars, all exhibitions. There are a lot of things happening for free around you. You don't have to pay anything. There are a lot of things happening for free around you. There are a lot of groups. There are a lot of career counselings. There are a lot of people who are actually sharing knowledge for free. Do get connected with those people. Do get connected with those groups. It is beneficial for you. So these are the things which you should take care before getting a termination letter from your current role. Now, some golden rules which I want to give you to excel when you are actually being terminated. Do not panic. Number 1, when you get the letter in hand, do not panic at all. Always remember, this is not the end of the world. You're not going to die. Nobody is going to kill you. Okay? When you're going back to home, you don't have to be sad, or you don't have to cry. You don't have to raise your voice. You don't have to be crazy. So this is another thing. Do not panic at all. Okay? Just be cool. Read the letter again and clarify all the doubts. Stay focused. Very important, when you get terminations, you lose your focus. You don't know what to do, so you lose your focus. So be focused at that time. Number 3, thank your HR for the wonderful opportunity which your company had given you during the past years. It's not only the HR, your management. You can go to the management and shake hands with them, or go to your boss and shake hands with him and say, thank you, sir, for all the opportunities you've given. Because it actually gives me so much learning and exposure, which I learned a lot from these things. Okay. Next would be looking for your HR and speak to him about your end of service benefits and a lot of other stuff. It depends on where you are placed geographically, maybe in India or nation, Europe, however the rules and regulations may be allowed. After all the processes, come back to your desks, clean your desk, and sort your documents. And you will think this is funny, because this is, why should I do it? Why should I waste my time to clean my desk and arrange all the documents for the next person to join? Why should I do it? So some people don't give opportunity for this, but I would recommend do it, because it gives a corporate culture for you. It gives a continuity for you. It gives so much exposure to you and so much positive strength to you to perform better. So this actually reflects your skill, or we can say it reflects your heart, or we can say your moral value. Then go ahead, thank everybody, then leave the office on time. This process is completed when you reach home. Reach home with a smile and be positive. You don't have to make a sad face in front of your family. You may not have a backup plan. I understand your situation completely, but you may not have a backup plan after your termination. If you don't have a backup plan, you have to start from scratch. Update your CV, very important, because this is the only tool which is going to save you for the next searches. Always intimate the termination notice to all the possible leads. All the possible leads in the sense, friends, relatives, and be careful of those relatives who will backstab you. So don't inform them. That's better, to be on the safer side. But inform all those friends and relatives and families and network connections, your peers, your influencers, your motivators, everybody, inform that you have been terminated from this role, but you are searching for a new role. Always be informed and use your available contacts. Send your CVs to hundreds, 200, 300 companies, but be careful where you're sending and on what role you're sending, because I see a lot of people applying for, even, for example, if the job description is for a driver, an engineer sends a CV, what's the use of it? Because the company wants a driver, and an engineer who is an electrical engineer is sending a CV for the post of a driver, which means he's actually not seeing the job description, or maybe he's a foolish guy, or maybe he is just sending it in BCC or CC format. He's just attaching a CV and sending it to many people, or he's just using a professional consultant to do it. So this is just waste of time. So read the job description, what is actually requirement, what is the requirement for it, and then act accordingly. Don't just publish your CV to all possible leads. Then do not be lazy. One most important thing which I want to stress today, do not be lazy, because you have to understand that job search is itself a job. Okay, many people think that job search is just a 1 hour activity or 2 hour activity, but you have to remember that from the morning 7 o'clock when the office starts here, especially in the UAE, till 5 o'clock in the evening or 6 o'clock in the evening, the HRs and these people are always vigilant and alert to possible candidates. So you have to be alert at every point of time to update your regular contacts, update your CV accordingly, and send and search for the possible leads. Do not be lazy at times. Fine. Do not think it's a holiday. It is not a holiday. You have been terminated from a role, which means it is not a holiday. You have to act upon it. This is the last special segment, how to get hired in 2020 or 2021. Most of the things I have discussed before. Positive mindset, very important. Get to shape. I am finding it difficult personally myself to get into shape, but I am trying on it. So if you're not yet on shape, not only body shape, or we can say physically fit, but mentally fit and a focused mind. So positive mindset is important, get to shape is important. Writing your thoughts is very, very important, because I learned that when I started to write my goals, when I started to write my aims in life, I performed more, I achieved more. So write your thoughts. Learning skills is very important. You have to communicate with people. You have to learn logical thinking. You have to focus, how to negotiate. You have to continuously learn. And everything is free. There are paid courses also, but everything is freely available. Find a mentor. If you don't have a mentor, find a mentor who can motivate you, who can influence you. Then CV, mold it as per the requirement. Don't send same CVs to same description or same CVs to same people, the same CVs to same job requirements, because every job requirement is different. The trust factor, be very alert, be smart. Automatically the trust factor comes in. Networking, connect with more people. Do not waste your times, because more the better. The opportunities is huge. Spying on companies, very important. You have to be alert, so much alert that you have to go to so much in-depth research that you have to get correct information what the company is looking at, how many opportunities are there. You have to use all your referrals for it. You have to research continuously. Direct communication is very important, and proactive personality. So this is the tool which you have to apply in 2020, or we can say this year, the next year, or the coming years, from the years which are coming, post-COVID. Okay, these are the tools which you have to apply in your life to get a dream job, or we can say a potential job. I would go this in quickly. Again, 4 steps for a job seeker: networking, internships, job profiles, job portals, and researching. Very important. Networking, as I've discussed before, 4 steps: connecting with HR people, increasing the connection rate, connecting with influencers, getting referred. Very important. Internships and freelancing and part-time. I would stress on this because many people I see that they are not cared about part-time jobs. They're not cared about freelancing jobs. It is difficult to get, but if you're thinking that your service is not free, if you're thinking that your service is not free, then you're wrong. Because I always find an opportunity in everything. So if I am learning or if I am giving my service for free, I find an opportunity to actually educate people, actually influence people. And in return, what happens is they influence me, they educate me. I get a lot of things to learn from them. I get the potential connection. So a lot of things are there. Internship, freelancing, and part-time is very important. when you are actually free at home after resignation or after termination, whatever the case may be. Exploring job portals, LinkedIn, very important. We will be taking a descriptive, or we can say detailed course on this now. Researching and messaging, very important. Don't just go on message every recruiter you see on social media or professional media websites. It would be actually making them negative. But drop in messages. It's very effective. Drop in messages, you may land in some dream jobs. Here we come to complete the module 2. If anybody has questions, I will give you 2-3 minutes to come up with it.
Hi, good evening. Am I audible?
Yes, please, you're audible.
Okay, so first of all, let me just take an opportunity to just introduce myself.
Yes,
I am Manju Matthews and I am from the Sharjah parish.
Yes, Manju, tell me.
So my question for today is, does my CV matter? Or to what level does my CV matter? And how does my referral help in getting a job?
Fine. Your CV does matter. Manju? Yeah, Manju, if you can hear me, your CV does matter. But the problem is, people actually think that referral is everything. Now, referral, if I'm talking about referral and those connections which actually are getting you the job. For example, if you have a friend in some companies, if you're working in an HR role, you just go to him and tell him that I'm not employed, I have lost my job. So their referral is not applicable. That is not referral. Referral is something which actually is professional in nature, because I would like to term that in professional nature, because referral is actually referring your skills and your achievements to those people who are actually in need of it. So there is always a mediator. There is always a mediator who is working on your behalf. Okay, if the mediator is your friend, or if your mediator is somebody else, or if your mediator is a relative, he can get you the job, but he can't guarantee you the continuity in the job. So it is very important that the referrals must be used very effectively. And CV is a tool which, when you land on a dream job or you go for an interview, CV is very effective tool to get you the dream job. So CV is very important. The first question solves the CV is very important. The better CVs are considered. You have to mold yourself whatever the requirement of the job profile is. CV is very important. Referrals are also very important, but take it in professional way. Professional referrals are very important. Referrals may be on LinkedIn or maybe on any other sites. Maybe the people who you know, they are actually helping you out. But just check out for actually the we can say the logical side of it, or we can say the things which actually applies to you, rather than just demotivates or just makes you in some other sense. So referrals are very important. CV is a tool, so use your CV accordingly. Hope I have answered you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hello, Jason. Koshi here from Dubai. Good going
Yes,
so
sir.
far.
Yes, sir, please.
I have some 2-3 basic questions to you. I mean,
Yes,
it's
please.
not a very big one. See, like you mentioned, include your experience in your CV, right? I mean, it is from the latest to oldest.
Yes.
So when you format a CV from a latest to oldest, so you have to elaborate your profile in each. Maybe a person, say, for example, you have worked for 5 to 6 different companies. So when you want to elaborate your profile or your things over there, or you just wanted to highlight the major achievements in the previous company, and your current profile would elaborate you more.
Yes.
So this is my first question. And my second question is that, you know, some of the CVs I'm getting,
Okay.
maybe he might have an experience of around 10 years experience or 11 years of experience. And out of 11 years of experience, he have changed a job around 8 to 9 different jobs. So in that case, see, he have performed superb in the interview, but then because of these things, I mean, maybe he have changed from 8 to 9 years, I mean, 9 different jobs. How would you rate that person? His knowledge-wise, he is very good, and he has performed well in the interview. But only thing what I noticed that he has changed a job maybe 7 to 8. So how would you rate that person? This is my second question. And my third question is that, you know, many CVs I'm getting, these days. I mean, you have explained earlier the biodata and the CVs. So in many of the CVs that, they are including their hobbies and interests.
Number one, job description. Now you told me that the latest job description should be at the top. Okay, I was discussing on this before. The latest job description should be at the top. Now, the question which you asked is that how to include the job description, whether it should be a detailed one or whether it should be a precise one. Is that the question, right?
Yes, yes.
Yes, okay.
I mean, precise one could be like, maybe everyone will have their own achievements. Maybe see, if I work for maybe 4 to 5 companies, and the current company, I can elaborate it. And the previous company, I can just show my major achievements, maybe 2 or 3 different achievements I can show. Or you want to include all my experiences or what I was doing there? This is my question.
Yeah. So as per my knowledge or experiences which I have, I would suggest that if you're including the precise format of the job description and the latest one on the top, it's going to be effective. Because if you're going to give your accomplishments in detail, unless you're a technical guy, because I would suggest maximum of 2 pages of a CV, maximum. One is the best, but some profiles have little more description on it. So 2 is the best. So more than 2 applies only to IT professionals, or we can say some specific segments where they have actually recorded or they have achieved like networking issues or some other profiles they have included on. They have to give a detailed summary on that, because that is the base of their selection. But apart from that, all other roles, majorly, all other roles, I would prefer it to be 2 pages maximum. So the job description, the latest job description, and the most effective job description should be on the top. Because, for example, if I'm working for a company as a business development manager, okay, and if I have been working in another company as a chief financial officer, or we can say a chief sales manager, what is the most effective one is to be communicated on a little more elaborate manner. Because my latest is, of course, a business development manager. That should be on the top. But the chief financial or the chief sales manager or the topmost sales manager of the company is not a smaller role. So you have accomplished a lot of other revenues in the sales manager profile, so that you can be elaborate in nature. But the business development manager, you have to be precise. If you are making an ATS compliant CV, bullet points is enough. Okay, if you're not making an ATS compliant CV, you can add details, but don't go over a 2-page CV. It would be actually negative in nature.
Good. Okay.
Okay. Number 2, experiences. People, this is one of a great question, because there is no continuity in some job profiles which people see these days. As you said, there is a potential candidate in front of you, and he is actually having an experience of almost 10 to 15 years. But when you closely scrutinize the CV, you find 8 to 9 different jobs within a short period of time. Now, when you can't judge it in the initial go. You can't judge it in the initial go, because it may be having some serious drawback, not from him, not from the potential candidate himself, but maybe from the company which he has been recruited on. So he has to give you a justified answer when you are speaking to him in an interview. So his answer, if it is like that, I don't feel the kick in that job, or I didn't feel interested in that job, then that is a pure way for disqualification. You can decide the disqualification matter there. But if he says that it was not challenging enough, then it again gives you something in your heart that why this guy has come to me for a job, because he has found some challenging things he has in this company. So you can ask him that, what makes you apply to the job here? What makes you apply to this position? Why did you apply to this position within a short period of time? So if he gives you a justified answer that this actually solves my challenging part, it is actually drives me so much motivated to perform, then this is going to be a selection criteria. But still, I would prefer that he has to be justified, or he has to give a justified answer for why he is switching on 8 to 9 companies over a shorter period of time. He has to justify. Yeah.
Sorry, maybe he may be more attractive on the packages what I was offering. So yes. Who knows that, see, when if I'm hiring a person, and he was doing good, maybe, and then I am investing him maybe another 1 or 2 years. Then maybe after another attractive package, definitely he will jump into that. So
Yes.
how could I take a decision on that?
In 2020 or 2021, you can't control anybody. This is a fact. Okay, in this century, or we can say in this year, you can't control anybody. Before, people used to blackmail the staff and say that I would not allow you to switch the company for more than for a period of 5 years, 3 years. You have to stay with this company. But in this current role, if you find a more challenging, or we can say a financially good role, people will jump. But the thing to decide here is that whether he is actually delivering the things which he has been promised on. Like, for example, if he was given a target, did he achieve it? So that is the first base you have to think, because financial aspect can be kept separate. If he was given a target to achieve some sales figure, did he achieve it, or did he jump before that? That is the base of your decision. If he has achieved it and then he has jumped it, then I think it is a matter of your decision to make a decision that why did he come here for the role. So if he has been given a target and he has fulfilled his target efficiently, now the efficient part is also very important. If he has fulfilled his target efficiently, then due to the lack of financial growth in that company, he has jumped and come to this company. So then it is a justified answer. And he's actually proving himself that if targets are given to him, he will complete the targets on time. So then you can decide that the salary which you're offering him should be binding in some nature, and he's not getting more than that in some other areas. For example, you have to do a research for yourself itself. What is the best package for this guy in this current role in the Middle East region, or in at least in the GCC region, which he can be offered by any other company? You have to do a research for yourself. For example, the sales manager will be getting a 15,000 dirham salary in UAE, and Qatar is offering 20,000 dirhams or some other Qatar riyals or some other currency. Will he switch it on, or will he find more effective in working in UAE itself? So that is the first thing you have to choose. Then minimize your justification according to the company levels in the UAE. Any other company is offering more salary than this, so you have to do a research. So it is equally important from a candidate side of view, and also from the potential recruiter itself, to actually research before starting a negotiation for the work. That's my explanation for the second. The third question, including your hobbies and passions or whatever it is in the series. So this question depends. Now, if the role is for an ice hockey player, okay, if the role is for an ice hockey player, his hobbies are very important to be included in the CV. But if the role is for a marketing executive, his hobbies are negligible, unless and until he is writing a hobby as communicating with people, or to be a good communicator or something like that. If he is reading book, playing cricket, playing badminton is just waste of time and energy. It is just waste of paper. You can add a lot of other things. So if the role demands that his hobbies should be there, then it is justified. If the role doesn't demand his hobbies should be there or not, then you can take the decision. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So going ahead, thank you for the questions.
Listen, can you hear me?
Yes, please. Who is this?
This is Annie here from Mumbai.
Hi, ma'am. Tell me.
Hi. I just had a question. You said that you need to keep updating your LinkedIn profiles and your other profiles. Now, suppose a person has been at the same job, say for a good 4 or 5 years. There is nothing new that has happened. So in what way can I update? And I mean, in what sense can you help me with that? I mean, what updation can I do in that sense?
If nothing new has happened, he's a total failure. Because every day is a different day, and you are going to achieve more and more things over a period of time. For example, if you are applying for a role in Dubai when you are stuck in India for more than 5 to 6 years, the experiences you get in India or in your native place during this 5 to 6 years, if you're not working there and you're coming to Dubai and applying for a job, the possibility of getting a job is very negligible. So that is the first thing which we have to keep in mind, that you have to continuously work unless and until your hobby, your passion is staying at home. Unless and until your passion is working from home or something like that. If you're continuously engaging yourself, I am 100% sure that you have a lot of things to update your CV. Especially the skills level, the learnings level, the experiences, the exposure, the technical know-how, the non-technical exposures, the communication things, a lot of others. Depends on the job profiles you are applying, or depends on the job profiles you're actually looking in for a potential role. Hope I have answered you.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Going ahead for the next module, I would be quick because time is moving on. The approach and networking and ways to make strategic connections, very important for a job seeker. Before going into this segment, I would like to ask, not ask, actually reflect on some questions in your life. Number one question would be actually, what do you want to achieve in life? Now, this question I have kept in here because if you don't have a clear idea of what actually you are going to achieve in life, there is no point in actually starting your job search career. So what do you want to achieve in life? Whom do you want to connect? Very important question. What do you want to earn out of your connection? For example, some people connect with some random people and they don't know what actually they are intending in life. They're just shaking hands or saying hello and going. For example, if your LinkedIn profile itself is having 15,000, 20,000, 30,000 connections, and you don't have an interpersonal relationship with each connection, or at least 10% of the connection, then it's of no use. So what do you want to earn out of connection? What is your preferred location? Like, is it UAE or is it Middle East or is it GCC or some other place? What is your preferred location? Is your preferences just based on showing off the numbers and influences? How far you can go to network? Are you keeping a low profile? If you see a potential benefit, will you share with others? So all these questions, if you're answering to yourself, I think you have a better chance to progress in your job search career. Now, going forward, the most important question, we can say the most important factor which we are going to discuss today, unlocking LinkedIn. Many people ask LinkedIn questions today, so few people, and I have to give you a brief introduction of what is LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn is a professional website which has over 575 million plus users all over the world. Okay. Now, it is like one of the biggest professional media which people relate to these days. All over the world, it is spread. It has got a big reach. The economic graph shows that nearly 690 million members are registered in LinkedIn. This is not newest, but 6 months before. More than 50 million companies represent on LinkedIn. Millions of jobs are open in LinkedIn, jobs. 90,000 schools are listed. This is just the lowest figures. The actual figures are more than that. 36,000 skills are listed. So this is the economic graph of what we're talking about for LinkedIn. If you go for the regional membership, over 186 million people have been registered from North America and Europe and Asia and Middle East and Africa. So you are imagining yourself in a sea of professionals. You are imagining yourself in such a big ocean of professionals where you're creating a profile and you're getting an exposure to at least 700 million members. So you may be thinking that how do I get the exposure? I would explain to you now. LinkedIn stands on 5 basic cultural beliefs. Number 1 would be transformation, integrity, collaboration, humor, and results oriented. So this is what LinkedIn stands on. So these are the cultural beliefs what LinkedIn stands on. You can go to news.linkedin to find out more regarding this. So how LinkedIn make decisions? The members are first. Obviously, the membership counts. Inspiring excellence, relationship matters, taking intelligent risks. These are all cultural values, or we can say visions and missions of LinkedIn. Now, going forward, this is a myth buster. There would be a poll running on the screen asking, yes, is LinkedIn a job search portal? I want you to honestly answer this question. I will give you just 1 minute. It's like 49% have answered yes, LinkedIn is a job search portal. 23% maybe. Oh, it's increasing now. And the no is 27%. Fantastic. So we got the maximum as LinkedIn, yes, is the job search portal. And then maybe some people are in doubt and some people are, no, it's not. So we will clear this myth within 5 to 10 minutes. I would be going against those 49% because LinkedIn is not just a job search profile, or we can say job search portal. It has a lot of other features than that. Job search is just a tool of LinkedIn, or we can say an option of LinkedIn, where job seekers actually can apply for jobs and find potential benefits out of it. But there are a lot of other things. For example, you can build your brand. It can help rank your name on Google, that is search engine optimizations, SEOs. It can maintain your contacts. You will get a lot of database in that. You can research companies and its employees. It can help you tap into industry news. It can network. It can make you learning and sharing. There are a lot of things which is hidden in LinkedIn itself. So LinkedIn has been cut into 3 profiles. So here I would take this screen sharing option to my LinkedIn page, and then I would continue this session. Yes. If you can see my page, this is my LinkedIn profile. This is all about LinkedIn. LinkedIn has basic 3 parts. Number on the left hand side, my left hand side, this is the mouse. If you can see this Jason Abraham, this profile part. This is known as profile part, where you get to know about your profiles, who viewed your profile, views of your post, and a lot of other stuff. This thing, or the middle sector, is called the feeds part. Feeds part means the lot of news and updates are continuously. For example, if you see no new post, it's continuously loading on it. And the third part is the news and updates. So these 3 parts have been explained in detail in this coming session. Now, if you can see on my top, that is the search bar is there. If you click on it, and if I research one person, for example, I search for this guy, Sridhar Sampath, okay? I click on this guy and I see his profile. Everybody would be familiar with this. This is his profile. Now, what I get most excited when I see is his 500 plus connections. Now, his 500 plus connections, and he is a motivational speaker, he's a CEO coach, he's a corporate educator, he's a facilitator, he's a leadership strategy expert, and an author. He's working in Motivaluate Consulting and Training Free Zone LLC. He was certified from American Institute of Certified Public Institute. You can speak to him, message him. You can read his articles. You can see what are the activities he is engaged in. You can see the experiences where he is currently working, Motivalue Consulting and Training Free Zone. You can see all the things which you have achieved over a period of time. So which means this guy is already exposed to me, and you are getting a lot of information from this guy. If I click on 500 plus connections, I will get all his connections in front of me. So which means his 500 connections are also exposed in front of me. And then you can filter it as per your locations, as per the current companies, etc. So this is one of the features of LinkedIn. For job seekers, if you want to click and search for jobs, for example, there is one option called people, there is one option called jobs, there is one option called content, companies, schools, and groups. Jobs, if you click on jobs, you will find the job portal open in front of you. Now, how to search jobs? Here in the left-hand side, you'll see a lot of job vacancies which is open there. On the right-hand side, you will see in easy apply, which means if you click on it, automatically LinkedIn has your database, and if you put next, it will all automatically apply on your behalf. So which means that you don't have to do anything, just click. But this is a very dangerous thing, because you actually don't go down and read the general summary and what actually the recruiter needs. So you have to read this part. This is what I was telling you before. General summary and essential duties and responsibilities of this potential recruiter. So these are all the descriptions which actually is required by him. And you have to match this. You have to find the keywords which is matching your ATS CVs. So this is what job seeker should actually look at. Then he can go and again research the company in detail. You can click on this manager customer order. You can click on the company Emirates Steel. He can go in detail. If you see this part, my job is actually matching 3 out of 10. So which means I have 3 skills out of 10 skills which is provided in this job search. So I am not qualified enough to match this skill. And there are already 5,305 applicants who have applied for this job. And then this company is in mining and metals. So these are all information which is actually adding your value and adding your job search. Then another one would be, if I go back to my home page, another would be left-hand side groups. Very important for a job seeker, for a networker, for an influencer, very important to understand what is a group. Groups are a lot of people, a lot of hub of, we can say hub of knowledge, hub of sharing. If you click on any of the group, for example, Society for Human Resource Management, on the right-hand side, you will see 198,515 members have registered in this group, which means if you put something here on the conversation screen, it is going to be exposed to 198,514 people. So this is actually giving you more exposure. If you're putting some content on this, which is actually reflecting your power, your skill, and it's influencing somebody, your network connections increase. Automatically, they come and search for your profile. So this is very important again. So this is about groups itself. Going forward, there is a lot of other things. For example, hashtags. On the left side, you'll see hashtags. Now, hashtags is a recent thing. If you put digital health hashtag, you will see 65,205 members are following. Or if you see learning, we can say COVID-19 hashtag. Okay, COVID-19 hashtag, you will see how many people are following COVID-19. So what is meant by hashtags? Hashtags are actually giving an exposure of news and updates regarding this hashtag. Hashtag COVID-19 means you will get all the news and updates of hashtag COVID related news and updates. So this is about hashtags. So very powerful again. Events, a lot of other things you can search in Google. Search in LinkedIn, and it is a huge we can say ocean of contents. I would be going back to my presentation. So I have discussed about the three-cut profile in detail, and then we discussed about So this is another important. I would quickly take a round. I will conclude my session now. Before concluding, I just want to give you a small synopsis of how to build a effective profile in LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn has a profile, as I showed you, it has a profile column. You have to put a very effective picture on it. If you're speaking or if you are smiling, but it should be not same as per your Facebook or Twitter accounts, because Facebook is a social media website and LinkedIn is a professional media. So you have to put something professional. Complete experiences should be there. Connections and contacts should be there. All these things you have to be clear. Experiences, voluntary experiences, certifications, education, organizations which you are linked with, all these things you should build it in your LinkedIn profile. It will give you an upper hand. This is a sample of an effective LinkedIn headline where this lady is there smiling on the left-hand side and she has a lot of other details in front of you. This is an example of a weak profile. If you are relating yourself to a weak profile like this, either you are a scammer or you are not an efficient guy who is actually care about LinkedIn, or you are just stagnant in some point of time. You're just doing the current job forever and ever. So you're not updating your profile. So if you see, again, there are a lot of scammers on LinkedIn. If you see automatic or connection details like this, don't click them. Be very careful, because these are advertisements and stuff like that. How to properly invite someone. This is another example of how to invite somebody on LinkedIn, like how to connect with, if he's a classmate or if he's a colleague or if he's a friend, you have to be clear on that. Groups we have discussed in detail. Now, last segment would be getting recommendations. Now, recommendations, people don't know about these in detail. Getting recommendations means actually asking somebody to get recommended. If it may be a colleague, it may be a person who you have influenced, it may be a person who you have worked with. So people matter, because getting somebody, for example, if our Achan says a good word about me and he's putting it on some media, and it is actually my exposure that he's actually telling the good things about me, and a lot of people are knowing about me. So this is the same thing in LinkedIn as well. If somebody is saying good things, especially not good things that he's a very smart guy, he's a very good guy, he's a handsome guy, not like the stuff. You're asking a LinkedIn recommendation to recommend your skills and expertise. That he was a team player, he was a motivator, he was an influencer, he was a collaborative guy, he knows to work in groups, stuff like that. So if you're asking for a recommendation, and if anybody wants to learn about recommendation detail, just get in one-on-one session with me, or ask the admin to just provide my details. I would explain to you in detail. Uploading contents in LinkedIn is very important. Strictly no political post. It should be free from abuse. Should be very professional. Should be not degrading any gender or discriminations. If you are a victim of something, you should openly share in LinkedIn rather than blurring. Because I see a lot of people blurring posts from other people who are actually have made a negative content. Don't blur it. Show them openly to the public, to the people, because they are actually working in some institutions, and their HR will actually recognize and they will dismiss this guy. So if you're part of any victim or if you're cheated, openly share it. Then basics, it should be free from grammar mistakes. Continuous posting should be there. Don't copy and paste everything what you see, because you have to be unique. You have to have a role identity. You have to be focused. You have to have a shareable content. The contents can be graphical, can be images, status related, stuff like that. Pro tips for job seekers: again, registering your contents in LinkedIn, then spending time on invaluable information will give you a more upper hand. So these are all things which is beneficial for LinkedIn, or we can say LinkedIn profile holder or job seeker. So that comes to end of my session today, because I've taken a lot of time. Started from 7:40. If you want to connect with me, this is my address. This is my YouTube channel. There, my email ID is there. Connect with me. I would be very happy to guide you for personalized. If you're lacking motivation, or if you're stuck at any point of time, just connect with me, and I will be there to help you. Thanks a lot, Achan and authorities, for giving me this opportunity to spend time with you. Thanks a lot.